Yes, it pays to have good credit.
You would always want to be on the side of having good credit.
Do you think it pays to have good credit? Welcome to the It Pays to Have Good Credit podcast, where we talk about credit scores, business, finances, and take calls to answer all questions related to those topics. To call in, call 225-243-9700 and press option 1 to join in. Can you have a great credit score but also be in zero debt? Yeah, all day long. I mean, you're looking at someone who's in that situation right now. I have good credit scores and my credit history is established and built every single month just because I use my credit cards every single month. Now, when I say use credit cards, I'm not referring to these people who follow these debt-free programs, the Dave Ramsey, things like that. Those are for consumers who are bad with their finances and they got themselves in a ton of debt because they weren't educated on how to use debt properly, or not even use debt properly, but being educated to pay back what they borrowed, or plan or make a financial plan before they swipe a credit card. So for example, the reason I use my credit cards are for travel perks and for business, rewards and things like that. So me personally, I like to travel often. So a lot of times some of these credit cards give us points when it comes to traveling, or maybe we can get inside of an airport lounge. So I keep these credit cards open just so I can have access to that stuff, because I'm a great aviation guy. I love to fly. I love visiting airports. And just by having certain credit cards, you can get into this airport lounge and eat for free, and drink for free until your flight arrives. So that right there has nothing to do with debt. Just having the card, you can get inside of these airport lounges throughout the US. You can get certain benefits such as like free Ubers throughout the year and things like that just by having these travel cards. Secondly, some of these cards give you free TSA pre-check and free clear. They reimburse you for it. So I don't like waiting in TSA at the airport. So just by having these credit cards, they allow me to get TSA pre-check for free. And I can just walk straight through the airport and just go straight through the shortcut line in TSA. So that I don't have to wait an hour just going through security. So that right there is a good reason why credit cards benefit me. And again, I'm not using the card and leaving balances on, paying interest, none of that stuff. I have paid zero interest on these credit cards and I'm in zero debt because there's no balance on it. However, the card is open and it's building my credit every single month by reporting that it's zero, which means paid in full, even though there's nothing paid in full. Now, let's flip the chart here. Now, my business credit cards and my personal credit cards, I still use them monthly because I get 2 to 3% cash back, sometimes 5% cash back, depending on the category. Some of my credit cards that I buy all of my office supplies with, my business expenses, business marketing, and things like that, instead of me using a bank account or a bank debit card that earns nothing, I put the money aside and then I just swipe my credit card, earn the rewards, and then the money that I was going to use to pay for it in the first place, I just put it back on my card and it's paid off. So I'm not using my credit card to pay for something in hopes to pay it off later. I already have the money to pay it off. So the very next day, the card is back at zero. And every month I'm in zero debt. However, that builds my credit history because the card is active and is zero each due date. I'm not paying a dime in interest. I'm charged $0 of interest throughout the year. So the bank makes no money off of me. However, I'm gaining interest because the bank pays me 2 to 3% interest just by using these cards. And I'm swiping thousands of dollars per month. And those thousands of dollars are basically equivalent to earning, a couple grand per year, maybe it's $2,000 on some cards. And that can pay for my vacation room somewhere. I can take a vacation for free once a year just by using those credit cards. So I think that's very beneficial to know. Let's say if somebody recently just paid off their mortgage and they just don't want to open any credit cards or things like that. Well, your credit accounts, good accounts, actually reports for 10 years after you've closed those accounts. So if you paid off your house today in 2024, well, you don't have to worry about having bad credit until 2034, whenever that closed account fall off of your credit. Once that item does fall off your credit, I mean, your scores will go back to zero if you haven't financed nothing else. But that's mainly the main reason for this episode, is to discuss how I'm able to have good credit and basically be in no debt, you know. So hopefully this episode has educated anyone out there how to keep credit in a positive standpoint without getting in debt. Don't go out and apply for no crazy personal loan just to build credit, or keeping balances on your credit card. You're just going to fall into a trap. I don't advise anyone to use a credit card unless they have a financial plan, because if you don't, then you're going to be one of those people that says, oh, credit screwed me over. Credit is horrible. Credit is a risk. And you're going to go to Dave Ramsey's show, and you know, he's going to be like, oh, the best credit score is a zero credit score, because you just didn't know how to play it financially and you messed up yourself. If you use credit to improve your lifestyle and would like to share your story on the It Pays to Have Good Credit podcast, feel free to reach out to us at info@stirguscreditrepair.com. Stirgus is spelled STIRGUS, creditrepair.com.